to the Bluegrass family. If you have never been here before, we are so happy to have you on our channel, and we would love for you to like and subscribe and follow along here with us where we share our farm, homestead, and all of our recipes here. And we also have a blog called www.thebluegrassfamily.com, and so all of our recipes and all of our information will be put up on the blog, so you can go there and subscribe as well. But welcome to the very first episode of the Thanksgiving Feast Fundamentals. And so I wanted to put this video together for all of those people that have a really hard time planning out how they will host their family Thanksgiving in a stress-free manner. Whenever I first hosted my very first Thanksgiving, I would have really loved to have found a video like this that broke down the entire menu plan, had all of the recipes available, and even gave you a timeline of when you're supposed to set your turkey out, what you can do to ease the stress from that week, because we all know that if you're hosting Thanksgiving at your home, you have many projects you're probably trying to get done. You're probably trying to get cleaning done, maybe some last minute home projects, and just trying to stay on top of your general day-to-day homemaking, which can be very overwhelming anytime that the holidays are happening. And so what I really wanted to get through with this video was to just break everything down for the Thanksgiving actual meal, so that it would be easier for you all whenever you are planning your Thanksgiving. So the very first episode, this is episode 1. It's coming out Tuesday, this should be Tuesday, October 29th. That way it gives you all a full month to plan, because many of the casseroles and the desserts can be made ahead and frozen, and then you can thaw those and heat them up. So like I said, the very first Thanksgiving that I hosted, I had no idea when I was supposed to set my turkey out. I had no idea that I could have made so many things in advance and froze them and then just thawed and reheated them just the week of Thanksgiving. And so that's what I'm really wanting to help you all out with. So I have a few notes in my phone. That's why I'm looking down at my phone. But I gathered some of my family's favorite Thanksgiving recipes. These are the foods that we eat almost every Thanksgiving. Somebody brings this, or we make this, or my mom. This is just what we generally have for Thanksgiving. Now, my mom hosts a really large Thanksgiving gathering every year with her whole side of the family, but I have hosted for my dad's family several different times, and my immediate family on my dad's side. So I know what it's like to host an entire Thanksgiving. I've done it a few times for my husband's family and my dad's family. So this is what I've put together, a pretty big list for the Thanksgiving menu. And what I will do each week is, this week I'm going to share with you the menu, the recipes, and the timeline. And so I'm going to put all of that up on the blog, and you can go to the blog and print out the entire thing. It'll also give you the shopping list. So anything that you want, it will break that down for you, so that you don't have to think, well, what is in this that I might need? You can print it off, maybe go through your pantry and figure out what you already have in stock. Maybe you can catch some things on sale between now and Thanksgiving, and it'll just make the shopping process a lot easier for you. Okay, so what we're gonna make, and what I'm also going to do is, so for every episode after the very first one, so this is the first one, like I said, it's just the timeline, the menu, the shopping list, and the recipes. The next episode, I will do the turkey and the turkey gravy, and then I will break down each week leading up to Thanksgiving all of the different side dishes that we're going to make. Some of these I've already done. I've already done the pumpkin bread and the pumpkin roll. I did some videos about fall decorating for the home, so I did that several weeks ago. I already did a video on making some sweet potato casserole and some homemade cranberry sauce. So there's some things I've already done that will be a little bit of a repeat, but I will share with you all in each video how to make every single thing that I'm talking about. So for the Thanksgiving menu, we're going to have an herbed turkey. I'm going to make an herb turkey. Sometimes my husband will but he'll fry a turkey. He has everything for that to be able to fry it. So he'll do that, but I'm going to make an herb turkey for y'all and show you all how to do that. I'm also going to make the turkey gravy, I'm going to make homemade mashed potatoes, cornbread dressing, hash brown casserole is a big one in our family, green bean casserole, broccoli casserole. Those are big in my family. Deviled eggs, glazed carrots, crock pot corn, corn pudding, cranberry sauce, baked macaroni and cheese, rolls, and sweet potato casserole. I might be forgetting something that I will add in later on, but right now, that's what I have on my list of things that we'll absolutely have for Thanksgiving. So, this being October 29th, it is about 1 month until Thanksgiving, a give or take. So 1 month, I would say 1 month to a few weekends before Thanksgiving, this is what I like to start thinking about. I like to start thinking about my grocery list, what recipes I don't have that I might need. I think it's a good idea to go ahead and get a notebook and just write down recipes or print them off and put them in a binder, anything like that that you can use for the years to come. That's very helpful. So I have written down a lot of different recipes that my family has used. That's been very beneficial for me. So this is going to be 1 month to a few weekends before the actual Thanksgiving meal. And it sounds overwhelming, but truthfully, if you just sit down and make a plan about a month before Thanksgiving, you can figure it out to where you can lay everything out to where it's not as overwhelming the week of. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and make all of our casseroles and freeze those in tin containers so that whenever it comes Thanksgiving week, all you have to do is set those out a few days before your Thanksgiving meal, and then you can heat them up in your oven. And I only have one oven, but I think that it's beneficial to have either 2 ovens or at least a turkey roaster, big roaster, crock pot roaster that you can fit an entire turkey in. Or you could have a couple of ovens, but truthfully I have one oven and I don't have a turkey roaster. So it's on my list to get a turkey roaster. And how I've done this in the past was I would just have my husband help me out with the turkey, and we would get that kind of done and wrap that up in aluminum foil. If we needed to stick it back in the oven and heat it up a bit, we would, but that's how we've done it in the past. So as far as your casseroles, I've always been able to fit 4 casseroles in my oven and heat those up. And like I said, this is a month to a couple of weekends or whatever before Thanksgiving. So what you can do is go ahead and get these casserole recipes, make a few of them up at a time. Maybe you make the hash brown casserole or the broccoli casserole, or you have some green beans and you can throw that together, the green bean casserole. And then you can either go ahead and cook the casserole fully and then let it cool and freeze it, or you can just leave it as is and not cook it and freeze it. As long as you have it wrapped in aluminum foil, it'll freeze fine and it'll bake fine. It's just that whenever you do go to pull it out and cook it, you might have to give yourself a little bit more time the week of Thanksgiving to actually fully cook the casserole versus if you had already fully cooked it and then froze it, if that makes sense. So that's what I would do a month to a few weekends before Thanksgiving. I would also go ahead and get whatever desserts you're wanting that you can make and freeze. I have a freezer-friendly pumpkin roll recipe. I will link it below. I also have a freezer-friendly pumpkin bread recipe, and I will link that below in the description. You can make both of those desserts, and they freeze wonderfully. You can also freeze mini pies or pie crusts. Those are very freezer-friendly. So any kind of dessert that you can go ahead and get off your plate and into your freezer that you just have to set out in your refrigerator and allow it to thaw. It makes a world of difference the week of Thanksgiving to take some of those things off of your plate to where you're just focusing on a few things versus focusing on trying to get everything made that week. Also, so that would be a month to a few weekends before. And then the week of Thanksgiving, many people don't realize this, but it's something that stalls a lot of people with turkey. If you buy a frozen turkey, it has to have about 4, it says for every 4 to 5 pounds of turkey, you need a 1 day to unfreeze it. So if you have a 16-pound turkey, you need to set your turkey out 4 days in advance, and maybe even 5 days in advance, just to be sure. When I'm thawing my turkey, I just sit it into the big roaster pan and allow it to thaw that way so the juices don't get all over the refrigerator. So that is something that has to happen the week of Thanksgiving. You want to thaw your turkey 4 to 5 days in advance. Just make sure that if you have a really, really large turkey, that for every 4 to 5 pounds, you give yourself a whole day of thawing in the fridge. So that is something that is very important. Also, any of the freezer casseroles that you have already pre-made and frozen and put into your freezer, you want to set those out, I'm going to say a couple of days before your actual gathering, because you want to give yourself plenty of time for those to thaw, and then the day of your actual gathering, you can wake up and get these put into the oven. Give yourself like an hour to cook each casserole, and then wrap them tightly in aluminum foil, and then you can just keep them in your oven to keep them warm, things like that. You can also go ahead a few weekends before Thanksgiving, and you can either make if you want to make your own homemade rolls, you can do that and freeze them. There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can freeze them before baking. Without baking them, you can just freeze the balls, or you can go ahead and bake them, and then you just have to reheat them. So that's your decision. I'll give you the link to that option below as well, so that you can be thinking about what you want to do. So that was, the week of Thanksgiving. Get the turkey out a couple days before Thanksgiving. Get your casseroles out, let those thaw. And then the day of Thanksgiving, you want to give yourself plenty of time to cook your turkey. Nobody wants to cook your turkey the day before or anything like that. You don't want a dry turkey. So you need to give yourself at least 2 to 3 hours if your turkey weighs between 14 and 24 pounds. And then you want to obviously check your internal temperature and make sure that it's cooked fully before you serve it. And then a lot of people will take their drippings from the turkey and they'll either make stuffing or gravy or both. We're going to make a cornbread stuffing, so I'm going to do it a little bit different, and that's something I'm going to make in advance. So everything that can be made in advance, I'm going to just read to you what you can make in advance and freeze, just so you know how easy it can be to just go ahead and get this stuff done and freeze it. You can freeze mashed potatoes, cornbread dressing, hash brown casserole, green bean casserole, broccoli casserole, corn pudding, cranberry sauce, baked mac and cheese, and sweet potato casserole, and rolls. So all of that stuff can be made in advance. So if y'all have any questions, please comment below. I will get all of the links posted below for you all to have the entire menu, the entire recipes, and the timeline, the grocery shopping list, all of it. And then like I said, you can go ahead and print that off, and you can be looking forward to the future episodes that will have me cooking each and every single dish that we have stated in this menu. So I really hope that you all enjoy this series. I hope that it is helpful for you, because like I said, it would have been very helpful and beneficial to me many years ago when I had to host a Thanksgiving. I had no idea what I was doing. So I hope you all enjoy it. Thank you so much for sticking around, and please subscribe to our channel so you can stay up to date on the future episodes of Thanksgiving Feast Fundamentals.